Hey, it's Constance Carter. I just had some technical difficulty. I went live and my computer died, and so I wanted to restart the live all about business credit. So there are a lot of myths out there, and I get a lot of inquiries on business credit because so many people they want to know how to establish a credit separate from their personal credit. Okay, so it's important that you understand the reason for having business credit and how the business credit works. So you can get a line of credit up to $100,000, $200,000 on business credit, but you have to have business credit established first. So we are going to talk about how to establish business credit. And again, I was having some technical difficulties, so I'm glad you guys are back with me on my live. So we're going to talk all about business credit. What is business credit? Business credit is credit that you get from being a business owner. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you have some type of business entity, then you probably want to have business credit. So when I first started in my business, one of the first things that we did is we got some small credit lines, and I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. But there are steps in order to get it. So as a sole proprietor, you can get some types of business credit, but you must have a personal guarantor. You must have somebody that, as in yourself, be personally responsible. And that's probably one of the easiest ways to get business credit is if you have somebody that is personally guaranteeing it. And with that, you need to have good credit. So I call it kind of cheating. So that's what I've done in some cases for my business. So I have one of those those non-limit American Express cards. And because of my credit and because of my relationship with American Express, instead of having to go through all the steps in order to build my business credit, I just I'm just going to use my own personal credit as a personal guarantor and establish the business credit that way. But for some people, they don't want to use their personal credit. That's understandable. And you just want to use your credit specifically for your business, and you don't want to be personally responsible, because the downside of that is it can actually interfere with your debt to income ratio. So say I got American Express and I'm paying, say, $10,000 per month on that. If I'm going to try to qualify for something else personally, maybe a house or a car or something, that could affect my ratios. Or if my credit is not good enough, then I'm unable to be a personal guarantor on the business line of credit. So in order to start, you must have some type of business. Okay, so that's the first step. So you must have some type of entity. If you want this to stand on its own without you being a personal guarantor, you cannot be a sole proprietor. So you have a hair salon, or if you have any type of small business, that even a real estate company, and it's not set up with a legal entity like an LLC or a corporation, you're not going to be able to get your own business line of credit without having an entity. Okay, so again, you need a corporation. Catalyst Real Estate Professionals, Carter Financial Solutions, those two are their own corporations, their own entities. They're separate from Constance Carter, the individual. Okay, so you need to have an entity. The second thing you need to do is you need to establish a tax ID or an EIN number, okay, an employee ID number through the IRS. So irs.gov, very easy. You can get an EIN number in less than 10 minutes. Very simple, but again, you must have a business established, okay? So the way you can establish your business, say your corporation or your LLC, most states do it through the Secretary of State. I'm in California, so business entities are established through the Secretary of State. Very easy. It's not hard to do. It's actually, they have forms online where you can go, and I've actually established all of my entities myself. So we have several corporations. I have LLCs for some of investing entities. And so all of those things I've done myself, and it's relatively simple. They have samples online where you can log on there, do it, send it over to the Secretary of State, which is in Sacramento, here in California, and you'll have your entity within a matter of a couple of days. Establish an EIN number. You'll also need to have like a number, a business line. So you'll need to have something where people can call you. They can go into the white pages and they can call you to ensure that you are a legitimate business. You also need an address. So if you're working from home, that's fine. When I first established Catalyst Real Estate Professional, the corporation, I was still working for another real estate firm, and so my address was my home address. So I didn't have a brick and mortar at that time, and that's fine. So you don't need your own separate brick and mortar to establish a business. Okay, so you'll need those things. The other thing is you need to do is you need to establish a business bank account. So once you get your entity, your corporation, LLC, second thing to do is get your EIN. The third thing to do is establish your bank account. You can establish a bank account through any large institution, you know, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citi. Bank of America is probably one of the, and BBVA Compass Bank. I really like BBVA Compass and a lot of their benefits. But a lot of those banks you can establish online. So you can go ahead, sign up online, establish a bank account online, very little hassle. So that's also something that you need to do. So let's talk about a personal guarantee versus a non-personal guarantee. So a personal guarantor, again, I mentioned that one of the things I did to kind of skip the kind of the rigmarole of starting a business credit is because I have good credit. I went ahead and had American Express open up an American Express card for my business. Okay, but I was a personal guarantor. I was a personal guarantee. That means they had to look at my credit, and based upon my credit, because my business credit wasn't already established, they looked at my credit and they approved me based upon that. Then I was able to build my other credit through having that. Okay, so that's what a personal guarantor is, or having a personal guarantee. A non-personal, and again, if you're a sole proprietor, you can establish business credit, but you have to be a personal guarantor or have to have a personal guarantee. If you only want to establish business in the entity's name, then you must have an entity. So you don't have to have a personal guarantor. Okay, my mind just went blank real quick. So like FICO scoring, and we talk about FICO scoring all the time, business credit is ranked by a paydex score. So a decent, good paydex score is a score of 80. And so in order to get there, you have to do certain things, okay? So like FICO is Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. A paydex score is through Dun & Bradstreet. Have you heard of Dun & Bradstreet? Okay, so they use your paydex score. Experian Business Credit and Equifax. The three of those entities, just like you have TransUnion, Experian, Equifax for your personal, for your paydex or your business credit, you have D&B, which is Dun & Bradstreet, you have Experian, and you have Equifax. So step one, the first place, again, with no personal guarantee, is you want to go to like a small Staples. Staples, I think that was one of the ones that we used in the very beginning also. But Staples, you can have a line of credit through Staples. So you go buy your supplies, and then you pay monthly. Make sure you pay online because Staples is reporting to your paydex score. Okay, so start off with Staples or something like that. Also, you can use there's a company called Uline, which will give you basically credit, business credit. That'll start off with giving you business credit. There was another one, Uline. Let me look at the other one because I hadn't used it. Quills is another one. Quills is another vendor. Again, buy some paper, buy some supplies, pay them off monthly, and they will report it. There's another. I just met a gentleman over the weekend, and I'll put up their link in a minute. I don't know the name of the business, but the cool thing about this business is not only do they help you establish your businesses and your entities, one of the other things that they do is most 85% of corporations are small businesses, whether they're LLCs, S Corps, C Corps. 9 out of 10 of them do not report or they do not keep accurate records of their minutes. So if you were to get audited by the IRS and you don't have your minutes, you don't have all of your formation documents, all of those things, then they'll say what it does is they'll say you are not an actual corporation. You are an entity acting as a corporation. Therefore, when we audit you, we're going to audit you based upon this is going to be your personal business. So we're going to you're going to have the same tax implications as an individual if you cannot establish that corporation. So the cool thing that this company does is they'll help you establish your entities, but every year they will do all of your documents for your minutes, your tax certificates, because if you're a corporation, you need to be issuing out tax certificates. And the cool thing about that company is they report every month to for your paydex score. So again, I don't know the name of the business. His last name is Young, and I met him over the weekend. I already knew about his business because I met him at another conference months ago, but I didn't realize that they reported to all the three bureaus for business credit. So that is actually an extra plus. So if you need help establishing your entity, that's one thing, they do that. But the other thing is the things that they do monthly, which is only $1,000 a year. But if you break it up and you do it in payments, let's say you do $200 a month, they're going to report it to for your business credit. So that's also a good one to start off with. Once you have established your small credit, about 3 months. So you're paying, Quills, you're paying Reliable, you're paying Staples every month for 3 months. Okay, and this is just on your business credit. You're not a personal guarantor, so you're only using your EIN. You're not using your personal social security number. Then you get to the next level, which is step 2. That's a small credit card. Okay, that's a revolving debt. That's an Amazon. Now, y'all, I don't know if you know me personally, I love Amazon. And Amazon, if you come by my house, any given day, when we have trash day on recyclable days, you're going to see a lot of Amazon boxes out there waiting to be picked up. So Amazon, that's a great use of you being able to get some business credit. Amazon is also one of those ones that will report for business credit, but you need a paydex score of about 80. So establishing it with Staples, doing that for 3 months. Second step will be to apply for an Amazon account or a Dell account. Dell is also another one that you need to have established credit already. Again, that first step. And then you go to Amazon and you start making those payments. So you make those payments another 3 months, okay? So then the third step is the step that I skipped. Remember when I told you that I went straight to American Express, and now I have an unlimited business account with American Express because I use my personal guarantee. So now you've done a 1 and 2 just with your business credit. Now you can go to that third step, which is with American Express, or these larger cards that are going to give you $10, $15, $20, $30,000, or cards that don't have limits on them. So that's the third step. So you start establishing that, get that going for a few months. Then you go to those business loans. Then you go to those banks. Then we're talking about $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, and you could use that to support your business. If you are an entity that say you invest in real estate, say you do commercial, you get commercial properties, or you do investment properties, now you have the cash flow to be able to go and invest in real estate, or whatever kind of capital you need in order to support your business. This is what's going to help. So I want to say it's going to take 6 to 9 months to get your business credit kind of established. I've seen people where they say we can do it in 30 days, we can do it in 90 days. Let's be realistic. Now, I always advocate for you to have good personal credit. And a lot of times the reason why people don't want to use their personal credit is because their personal credit is jacked up. It's not hard, and you guys already know. I have the Build Credit to Build Wealth program where for 3 payments of $97, within 90 days, your credit score will go up approximately 200 points. Get your personal credit together. You may not have to go through those 2 steps to where you're working up to that. If your credit's already established, then you can go up to tier 3, work on that for a few months, and then you getting that $50,000, you're getting that $100,000 in lines of credit for your business. That's my recommendation. So again, you're going to need a paydex score of at least 80, and that's equivalent to around a 700 FICO score. But that's what you're going to need in order to establish business credit. All right. So let me see. Let's go to some questions about business credit. Okay, nobody works on it. Thank you, Ashley. Ashley said, is there a bank you could recommend for people who are just starting out? So yeah, let's go back to that. So just people who are just starting out, Bank of America has its flaws and its fees, but to be honest with you, when I first started my corporation, Bank of America was the easiest to get started with because I was able to do it online. I didn't have to go in. I was able to submit, my articles of incorporation over the online. I was able to email it. They were able to open my account right away. So Bank of America, most of the large institutions will open up a business account for you relatively quickly. So it's not going to be hard to open up a bank account just starting out, but you need to have your entity established if you're going to be a corporation, S Corp, C Corp, LLC, something like that. Now, if you're sole proprietor, that's something totally different. But if you're doing your business in another name, so say I'm Constance Carter, but I'm doing business as Carter Financial Solutions, then I need to have established my fictitious business name or my DBA, and I need to submit that when I'm opening up my business account. Okay. So thank you for that question, Ashley. Let's see, should you form an LLC or Corp to get credit under an entity? Yes. And so are you asking me if it should be either or? It can be either or. And they both have different types of benefits. It depends on the types of businesses that you're doing. So for certain businesses, corporations are best. If you're like a single person, if you're a single user, corporations are good. Or if you have several employees. If you're an LLC, if you have two people, an LLC may be better because then you're both managing partners of the LLC, but it all depends on what type of business entity that you're forming. There's going to be certain tax implications with either. And I'm not a CPA, so I can't tell you about the tax implications. I just tell you from experience some of the things that I could do under my S Corp, which I can't do under my LLC because of certain tax implications. So thank you for that question, Tina. Let's see, share when you can. Okay, well, I think I don't have any other questions. Again, let me just reiterate, you can get your business credit whether you have whether you're a personal guarantor or not. People have their own reasons for why they want to be a personal guarantor or why they only want to use their EIN. And a lot of it is based upon their ability to have their own credit impacted by opening up business line of credit. It all depends on what you want to do. One's going to take a lot longer than the other. Again, if you are a personal guarantor, it's going to go a lot sooner, okay, a lot quicker. Just get your credit right. Get your personal credit right. If you're just going to go on your EIN, there's going to be 4 steps and baby steps in order to establish to be able to get that real paper, that real money. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're going out and establishing your business credit. And I think that is it. I don't think that I have any. Okay. Ashley says, I do speaking engagements. One of my members told me she has $80,000 to $100,000 available to her at all times so that she can manage while she waits for vendors to reimburse to pay. Do you recommend a limitless card for that or an actual loan? It all depends on what the rates are, the interest rates. A card can be easier to obtain, but the interest rate may be a lot higher. So if you have a loan through a bank, your rate's going to be, it could be anywhere between 7 to 10% on a business loan. But on a credit card, you could be looking at a low of 15% and then, a high of about 30%. So it all depends. And that's actually not a bad idea, being able to run. And that's what most businesses do. They have a line of credit, a warehouse line or a line of credit that they can always pull from for payroll, for different things that they need to keep their businesses running while they're waiting on reimbursements from different entities that are paying them. So that's actually how most large companies work when they're using business credit, and that's why they need it. So it's not just for investing, but it is for kind of the day-to-day running of the business, again, the payroll and things like that. I have a PC. How does that benefit me? I don't know what a PC is, like a personal computer. So Daphne, if you could tell me what a PC is, I'm not sure what that is. And then what's the name of my recovery program? It's called Build Credit to Build Wealth, the blueprint for a wealthy credit score. And that is located at mywealthroadmap.com. There is a plethora of information on that thing that after you finish this program, and again, 20 minutes a day to get your credit in position to start having great credit. So 20 minutes every day. If you know that you can dedicate 20 minutes a day to build your credit, I pretty much guarantee, depending on what your credit score is, that you can increase your score by 200 points within 90 days. So It's called My Wealth Roadmap, and it's called Build Credit to Build Wealth. There's actually, oh, I don't have my workbooks in here, but we actually have a workbook that goes along with it. And then I do have a bestseller, Keeping Score, What You Need to Know to Make Your Credit Score Grow. And that's also available. You know, I was looking at my reviews on Amazon the other day. It was so cool. And I got, you know, I hadn't looked at the reviews in months. And I seen a new one, and it said, this was the best decision, the best investment that I've made. I feel empowered and inspired. That was so awesome. And I don't know who wrote that, but I think that was amazing. So thank you guys, or whoever wrote that. But the book is really, really good. I'm very proud of it because it's helped so many people to get in a position to do things like start investing. Some of my folks have, you know, purchased cars, purchased homes, but it's just better position them to be able to do things regarding wealth building. And then some people were just like, you know, Constance, the book is great. I need a little bit more information. So I try to figure out how I could duplicate myself. How do I duplicate myself? Because I don't do credit repair. I don't have that kind of time. I am the CEO of Catalyst Real Estate Professionals. I have 35 agents, and I travel and speak and all that stuff. So I don't have that kind of time to help people personally with their credit. So what you have in the training program is you have me and all of my knowledge in one place. And I've helped thousands of people. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the book, the bestseller, and I'm also proud of the training program. So if you're interested, go to mywealthroadmap.com and pick it up. And the special that I have today is if you do the training program, if you purchase the training program, I'll throw in the book for free. All right. So, hi, cousin. Do you have a recommendation for a company to establish, start an LLC or corporation license? Freddie, that's actually a great question. Yourself. Most companies will charge you some type of fee. And again, Secretary of State, you go on there and the forms are there. I formed several LLCs. I formed several corporations all by myself without knowing anything. Just took a little bit of research, but the forms are on the Secretary of State. So if you're in California, it's sos.ca.gov. I'm not sure with other states, but right on the Secretary of State's website, you can go and grab those forms. Send it over to Sacramento, and you're incorporated within a matter of days. Easy, okay? A professional corporation. So, Daphne, are you talking about an S Corp or a C Corp? And then let me go back to, how does that benefit me? Okay, so if you have a professional corporation, how does business credit benefit you? Let's go back. You have lines of credit. So depend on the type of business that you have, having those lines of credit to be able to pull from anytime you want to is important. What if you have payroll? What if you have different obligations? Just like Ashley said, she said, I'm a speaker. So when I'm waiting for people to pay me, I'm still able to take a draw from these loans until I get paid. So if you have those types of business entities, then a business line of credit definitely benefits you. But again, go through the steps to get to that ultimate of being able to get $50,000 or $100,000 or more. Okay. You are very welcome, Ashley. Thank you for tuning in. Charlandra, are you talking all questions, not just business credit? All right, if you have a question really quick on something other than business credit, I'm open to sharing, but I didn't want to keep you guys too long. I've been on about 20 minutes, and I know sometimes, so while I'm talking, get that credit, that question to me, Charlandra. I sometimes go long, like an hour and a half, and I'm glad that a lot of you guys stay engaged with me the entire hour and a half, but I realize that's a long time. And so I don't like to keep people on that long. I realize to get the optimal use out of the time, I should probably stay under 30 minutes. So, Charlandra, I just want to see if you got your. So Ashley said, is it okay if your address is a P.O. box, or do banks and credit cards frown upon that? I want to say have an actual address, an actual location, but a P.O. box is not frowned upon. I see it all the time where people have their businesses going to a P.O. box. I think it is better if you have an address. So like I said, even your home address, it doesn't have to be a commercial address. So a residential address is fine, and I think that's better than a P.O. box, okay? And then Charlandra said, if you aren't ready to purchase yet, is it worth typing too fast? Is it worth to apply with a lender if you aren't ready? No. So if you're not ready, and it depends on how long it's going to take you to get ready. So if you know that you're not going to buy a house until the spring of next year, don't get approved for a loan right now. There are certain things that you can do to prepare yourself. So on my website, ConstanceCarter.com, I have a roadmap to home ownership. You click on that link and you say, based upon it, you just type in your information, how much money you earn per month, how much debt you have. And based upon the information that you put out there, it's going to tell you how much you qualify for, how much of a down payment you will need, and how long it's going to take you to save up for that down payment based upon the amount of money that you put that you want to save per month. It is a great mechanism that I actually thought of myself, and I had some engineers create myself because I thought it would be great for my clients. So again, you don't have to apply right now. You can also go to qualify with CFS. We can do a soft credit pull on your Experian credit report, and you'll know exactly kind of where your Experian report lies, because you know Credit Karma is not going to give you the correct credit score. So those are two things you could do. Do a soft pull. I'll look at that soft pull and say, okay, you're ready, and then go on my website and do the roadmap to home ownership. That'll tell you how much you need, how much you qualify for based upon your income and your debt. Okay. All right. And I think that's it. Ashley, love you guys. How off is Credit Karma? Okay, Takia. Credit Karma is way off. In fact, Credit Karma could be so off. For my husband, it shows 50% lower than what his actual score is. No. It shows 50 points higher than what his score is. And for my Credit Karma, it shows about 50 points lower than what my actual score is. So Credit Karma is not accurate. It is not a FICO score. If you want a true FICO score, then you should go to myfico.com, or you can come to me and I will pull your credit, but it will be a hard pull, or I can do the Experian soft pull, and that is your actual Experian credit score. And there's no fee to you. I pay for it, and it's actually a true FICO for Experian only, and that's absolutely free. Or you could pay $59.83, I think, to my FICO, and you can get all three of your credit scores. But they show you all the different FICO models and if you don't understand the FICO models, FICO 2, 3, 8, 5, all of those, then it really doesn't really benefit you because they're different FICOs and different lenders use different FICOs. Credit Karma, we call those FICO scores. And so those are not true credit scores. The score you get directly, like from your Discover card or your Visa, credit scores that you get from all of these other entities, those are not true FICO scores. Those are FICO scores. So just be very mindful when you go into Credit Karma and you coming in, popping your collar, talking about I got an 800 credit score, and when I pull it, it's more like 580. Credit Karma. Or you might be like, oh man, my credit score is only 580 and I pull in this 800. Both of those scenarios have happened in real life. So Credit Karma is way off. I can't tell you how much is off. The good thing about Credit Karma is that the data is right. So you know if your utilization is high, if you have collections, all of these other things about your credit, that's good. That's what you need to be monitoring. Don't worry about the score because it's not going to give you the real score anyway. It's going to be off. Okay. All right. And okay, there's more questions. You said you have multiple businesses. Do you have multiple businesses because that is necessary, or can you do multiple of those under one business? Yes, I can do, because I have a real estate brokerage. So I have a real estate company, I have a loan company, and I have a nonprofit, and I have another investment LLC that I formulated with a partner, and that's to do certain investments. And so those are separate entities because they function all very separate, very different. But you absolutely can have one corporation and have multiple businesses underneath. So there absolutely is fine to do. It just all depends on how you set up your entities, but you can do it any kind of way that you want to. Okay. And then Ashley, yep, my FICO, that is a soft pull. That's not a hard pull. So you can go on there. It's like $59, if you have it, or you can go to myfico.com and qualify with CFS.com. I just put that in there. Go to qualifywithcfs.com and I'll do a soft pull for you for free for you and only be Experian. So there will be no inquiries. One of the things that I just did recently as an example for my training program is I got like 32 inquiries removed from my credit report. And I have a lot of inquiries because of the type of business that I'm in. With being a lender, a lending institution, when I'm dealing with a lot of different banks, they require me to pull my credit. So I had a lot of inquiries on my credit report. And so these credit repair companies, when they dispute things, often they just dispute. And when they dispute things, they're only disputing items on your credit report and they're not touching the inquiries. I got these 32 inquiries off my credit like that within 30 days. And my score increased, oh God, what was it? Another like 20, 30 points or something like that. It was something crazy. Inquiries are only 10% of your credit score, but it had affected me because I had so many. So that's not typical for an inquiry to hurt your credit score that much, but I had a lot. So I don't even know why I said that. I love my FICO. It's only $19.99. My FICO is only $19.99 if you're doing the monthly, but if you want to just get your FICO, it's $59.83. And I think that is it, guys. So I just wanted to be real brief with you, and I think we're right about 30 minutes right now. It says we're at 30 minutes, so thank you for tuning in. Again, this is all about business credit for you entrepreneurs that need to get going. Credit is the best way to build wealth because what? Wealthy people do not use their own money, okay? I was just telling my husband the other day, I wanted to do certain things. And I said, I don't really think it's prudent if we use our own money to do this type of, these types of repairs. And it costs over $100,000. And I was like, I don't think that's really the best idea for us to use our savings for that. Let's get a home equity line of credit. And he was like, all right, whatever you think is best. So you want to be able to keep your capital in your account. You don't want to have to use your own money. That's why good credit is so important. Muy importante for you to be able to build wealth. That's what it's all about. All right. So Constance Carter, thank you for tuning in to Ask Constance Live. Peace.